In the meantime, we have a brand new trial for you in Connecticut, the trial of Jose Morales. We're getting you caught up on the testimony that has not yet aired. We started shooting this case last week. The jury is coming back today to hear from more witnesses. Let's go back where we left off. Here we go.
Somewhere before 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, December the 2nd of 2019, do you recall where you were?
At that time, I was patrolling the East Side sector and responded to a call for service at 6.5 Myrtle Ave.
And do you recall approximately what time that was?
Approximately about 10 minutes of 1.
And the call that you were dispatched to, do you know the nature of what the dispatch was?
Yes, the call had come in at a request for a welfare check to make contact with a female resident at 6.5 Myrtle Ave, identified as a Christine Holloway. And the caller was seeking that we make contact with her because she had not reported for work.
And did you make your way to 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, I did.
And did you arrive ultimately at 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell the jury what the weather conditions were like at that time when you arrived at 6.5 Myrtle?
The weather conditions at that time, it was pretty cold out. It had started to snow earlier in the day. There was some accumulation of fresh snow on the sidewalks and in the grass, as well as the front of the residence, the walkway leading up to the residence.
When you arrived on Myrtle Ave, do you recall where you parked?
I do.
And where did you park?
I parked in front of number 6, which is the property that would be directly to the right of 6.5 Myrtle if you were looking at the front door of the residence.
And what action did you take upon your arrival?
Upon arriving to the residence, it's normal protocol. I call out to dispatch that you've arrived on scene. I notified them of my arrival, exited my patrol vehicle. I walked up the sidewalk to 6.5 Myrtle and attempted contact at the front of the residence.
Did you make any observations as you were walking towards the front door area with regard to any snow coverage or anything that could be in the snow?
Yes, as I approached the residence, it stood out to me that there were no footprints in the snow, either coming from or leading to the residence. It didn't appear that anyone had either come or gone at that time.
And when you approached the door, what, if anything, happened?
As I approached the front of the residence, I attempted contact. I noticed that there was a window to the left of the front door. I had knocked at that window, as well as giving a good firm knock at the front door to try to make contact with anyone inside.
All right, so breaking this down, first of all, step by step. At the time of this incident where you issued an Ansonia Police Department body-worn camera.
Yes, I was.
And when you exited your patrol car, did you activate your body-worn camera?
I did not activate the camera immediately, no.
Okay. Did Ansonia, how new were body cameras at that time to the Ansonia Police Department?
The body-worn cameras were fairly new. They were issued to us in connection with a grant from the state through the Police Accountability Bill.
Now, with regard to the protocols that were in place at that time, was there a policy with regard to body cam usage?
Yes, the policy at that time dictated that officers involved in a public interaction would activate their body-worn cameras upon that interaction beginning.
So when you first approached the door, was your body camera activated at that time?
Not at the initial response to the front door, no.
So was it your testimony that you knocked at the front door?
Yes.
Did you make any observations at that time with regard to the presence or absence of any mailboxes?
There were 2 mailboxes at the front of the residence. One was labeled with the name Holloway, and the other, I don't recall if it had a name on it, but it was not Holloway. And there appeared to be mail in the mailbox that was not labeled. And the mail, I did check it, and it did say Christine Holloway on it.
And after you checked that mailbox, where did you go to next?
After I checked the mailbox, I believe I knocked at the front door to try to make contact with anyone inside.
And after knocking at the front door, where did you go to next?
I activated my body-worn camera, anticipating an interaction with anyone that may be home. After a brief period of time, no one came to the door, and I walked back out to the street and back to my patrol vehicle.
Okay, what's going to be the most damaging thing for this defendant? Is it going to be that he was seen on video at that donation site? Is it going to be that he changed his stories multiple times when he was interviewed? What's it going to be here? Could it be that his girlfriend's killed inside of the home that they shared? And coincidentally, the child goes missing at the same time. Let me bring in attorney John Mobley, get his thoughts. John, you've been on both sides of the courtroom here. What do you think are the worst facts, if you will, for this defendant?
I think that, the bad facts in this case are like a buffet. There's just so many of them. It's hard to pick one that's worse than the other. I mean, obviously, just taking it from the top, whenever you have a female that's murdered, the automatic suspect when you have this unexplained murder is always going to be the person they're in a relationship with, whether it's the spouse or whether it's a boyfriend. That's always going to be the first suspect. So you have that going against the defendant in this case. Well, then when you start looking at the evidence in the case, it's not even physical. Again, he's given inconsistent statements about his whereabouts that are clearly not true, not correct. The cell phone information and analysis kind of ties into her all the time. He says he's not with her. Then when you start looking at the timeline of the physical evidence, you have the evidence of the crime being found at a friggin' donation bin for a church with all her DNA and blood on it. And you have a video of him at that scene. And now you have also evidence of a bloody trash bag or trash bag with her blood in it in the trunk of his car. It's just all horrible, and then when you take into account what I call the intangibles are things that in my mind make a jury want to convict someone or not to convict someone. In this case, I think the intangibles are bad because you have a victim that is sympathetic. You have a female who is a mother of a young, beautiful daughter who is missing. And so the jury wants to hold somebody responsible when something this horrific happens. And you have him. You have this guy with all the physical evidence whose only defense is I was on PCP, which is great for explaining the inconsistencies. But again, the problem is trying to score points on all the physical evidence and linking him to the crime. That's just where their problem is. And, it's just so much. And sometimes, again, when you're the defense, you kind of have to take the facts as they come. You can't control or manufacture the facts. And oftentimes you have defendants that just won't plead, They just say,
Right. I was going to say, is this what we call a slow plea, John Mobley? What do you say?
That's right. This is a month-long guilty plea. Mm-hmm. And the problem with the case is you don't have any mitigation. When you get to the end, sometimes you take that approach because the prosecutor won't really see the mitigation in the case, and you kind of have to use the trial to lay out the mitigation. Maybe some horrific violence on the part of the victim or something else. But no, there's nothing, there's no mitigation. There's no redeeming quality about this defendant. There's no conduct on the part of the victim that now that it's out, you feel somehow, that he's less culpable or not as bad. It's going to end poorly for this particular defendant.
Sure is, John. And I think many of us are watching so closely to see if we learn anything about little baby Vanessa's disappearance along the way here. If something comes out, we'll have to stay tuned for that. John, I know we need to let you go. Get on with your day. Thank you for your time on this Friday morning. We'll see you soon. And thank you for being with us at home. We're going to show you more on-air testimony in this homicide case on the other side of the break, and more live testimonies coming up. This is Court TV Live. We are your front row seat to justice.
This is Court TV Live, I'm Matt Johnson in today for Ted Rollins. Thanks for being with us on this busy Friday. Wow, we are tracking several cases from coast to coast today. In Michigan, we are in a verdict watch in the battered and burned murder retrial for Linda Sturmer. The jury just got the case this morning and they've been deliberating. Look right there on your screen, 1 hour and 17 minutes. In California, Lyle and Eric Menendez returned to court this hour for a pivotal hearing. The judge will decide whether to withdraw the resentencing recommendation that was filed by the former LA County District Attorney George Gascon. No cameras are allowed in that hearing, but we'll keep you updated as we get those updates. And in Connecticut, the missing daughter and murdered mother trial for defendant Jose Morales, that is underway. Let's start this hour in Connecticut for the trial for Jose Morales, which is playing out in Milford Superior Court near New Haven, Connecticut. The trial began earlier this week while we were covering the Harry Turk trial and the Linda Sturmer trial. This morning, we are bringing you key bits of testimony. Morales is charged with murder for the beating death of his girlfriend, Christine Holloway. Her body was found in her home back in December 2019. The couple's one-year-old daughter at the time, Vanessa, she was missing. She has never been found. Let's pick up testimony now with more direct examination with an officer, Christopher Kelly, who conducted a welfare check for that victim.
Now, with regard to you were walking down the ramp, there are several cars on the street, car here, car here, car here. At the time, did you take particular attention as to any of these vehicles?
No, at the time I did not pay particular attention to any of the vehicles as they appeared to be legally parked in conjunction with our winter parking ban. Once I got back into my patrol vehicle, I proceeded down Myrtle Ave to Judson, and I attempted to make contact at the rear of the residence. This residence is unique in nature. The front door actually sits on Myrtle Ave, but the rear of the property is actually accessed by Cottage Ave. There's a long driveway that comes up from Cottage to the back of that residence. I proceeded to that through that route, and then I pulled up the driveway at the back of the residence.
And when you got to the back of the driveway, what, if anything, did you do?
When I got to the back of the residence, I parked my cruiser in the driveway, and the first thing that stood out to me was there was a bay-style window that sits above the garage level, and the window was open. I thought it was a little odd that it was so cold out and that window was open.
And you just told the ladies and gentlemen of the jury you made an observation with regard to a window and a pumpkin having enhanced towards the top part of the picture, the bay window area. Is this generally what you saw when you appeared on December the 2nd, 2019 at the rear of 6.5 Myrtle?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry, did you make any observations at that time, whether beyond the open window and the pumpkin, whether you were able to see inside, deeper into the residence?
No, the window coverings that you see there were closed completely, and I was not able to see inside.
So after conducting that walk around, what, if anything, did you do next?
After conducting the walk around, I returned to my patrol vehicle and cleared the scene, notifying dispatch that I was unable to make contact with anyone at the residence.
And do you know approximately what time you cleared the scene?
The approximate time of me clearing the scene was 13:04 in military time. Standard time, it's going to be 1:04 p.m.
I have nothing further, thank you.
Had you ever been to 6.5 Myrtle before?
I'd been past the residence. I don't believe I ever had a call for service at that residence before.
Okay. So, and we can call up the pictures, but just see if we can reach an agreement. You parked on Myrtle right in front of the residence number 6. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right, and that was your patrol car in the picture.
That was, yes.
The still photo, right? Okay. So you parked there. Did you go over and talk to anybody at 6 Myrtle when you arrived, sir?
No.
No? Okay. So you hadn't been there before. You got out of your patrol vehicle. There was a welfare check request, and you said that you went up the ramp towards the front door. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you didn't engage your body-worn camera at that point as you proceeded up to the house?
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Okay. So you go up the walkway, and you can see that some areas of the walkway have snow on it, some doesn't. The street doesn't have any accumulated snow. The sidewalks don't at that point, correct?
That is correct.
Right. It seems that there were flurries that were coming down at that point. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair.
Okay. But at that point, there was no snow on the roads, for example?
No, the roads were clear.
Yeah. Okay, great. So now you go to the door and you knock on the door.
Yes.
And you testify that you saw the screen door vibrate at that point, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Right. And did you open the screen door?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you never made contact with the wooden door?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you only knocked on the screen door?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Did you identify yourself, officer?
No.
Okay. So you just knocked and you didn't indicate anything?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you got into the cruiser, correct?
Yes.
And that's when you circled back around and you went to the back side of the building located at 6.5 Myrtle, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's when you saw the driveway came up, and then there were the 3 garage bays, correct?
Yes.
Right, okay. And when you got out of the cruiser back there, did you see anyone around?
No, there did not appear to be anyone around.
And sir, how long were you totally at the scene?
Approximately 5 minutes, maybe.
Okay. And then after you did your investigation in the rear of the building, you got back in your cruiser, correct?
Yes.
And I take it you would have notified dispatch at that point that the call was cleared?
Yes, you would notify dispatch that you're clear from the call. And I believe I also requested that dispatch make contact with the complainant to advise we had no contact at that time.
Ooh, this case is one of those that'll give you nightmares. All right, let's bring in our guest to discuss for this hour. Joining me from California, criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully. Nice to see you on this Friday. What's your initial thoughts about this case out of Connecticut?
Well, I think that it's, first of all, the charges, like you said, it's grisly. It's a grisly case. A lot of compassion goes out for the family of the deceased and the missing child. But I think it's a very good case for the prosecution. I think the defense attorney here is doing a very good job doing everything technically correct. I'm not sure there's a lot of room for a defense in this case, but I'll watch and wait and listen and keep an open mind and see where they're going.
Yeah, there is a lot of forensic and there's a lot of connecting the dots with all of the evidence. There's a lot of evidence in this case against this defendant. What do you make of his defense that he was on drugs, doesn't remember anything?
Generally speaking, when you take drugs or get intoxicated for yourself, that's not a defense to crime. It can be a defense to some specific intent crimes, but really nothing like this. I mean, it would have to be involuntary intoxication versus voluntary intoxication. That's usually the main legal issues in this case. And regardless of even the legal issues, a lot of times jurors do not care. You know, you took the drugs or you were on drugs. This was your fault. You did it. I don't buy the excuse, and even if even if you did do it like that, it's still your fault. So it doesn't have a lot of jury appeal either way.
Yeah, because you know what they're thinking about? They're thinking about this baby's mom, Christine, who was brutally murdered and found naked in her bathtub, and the fact that the baby is missing. When you hear that his defense is drugs, what do you think about that baby? Where do you think that baby is?
I think it goes to a place that's very nightmarish, frankly. I mean, the mother was brutally beaten. An organ was found outside her body. She was beaten so bad. So one can only imagine where that child is. And we could pray for both of them.
Yeah, definitely pray that someone watching this perhaps knows where little baby Vanessa, who was 1 year old at the time, We're going to be continuing to show her picture throughout the day. Hopefully they get a call. Police do. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break right now. Coming up, we are going to head back to Connecticut. Another witness who found items with the victim's blood on them in a donation bin will take the stand. This is Court TV Live, your front row seat to justice.
Already convicted for the murders of her children.
Doomsday cult mom is now lawyer Lori.
She's representing herself.
On charges of conspiring to murder her fourth husband.
She said, I can murder you now.
She really thinks she's equipped to try this case.
She appears very sure of herself.
I have real trial experience.
It's going to be a strange trial. We'll see how it plays out.
The Cult Mom Conspiracy Trial. Live coverage continues Monday morning on Court TV.
Back to Connecticut we go for more testimony in the case against Jose Morales. He's accused of killing his girlfriend, Christine Holloway, and tampering with evidence. He's also the only suspect in the disappearance of their daughter, Vanessa. She's been missing since her mother was found murdered back in December of 2019. The next witness is now on direct, Mira Watkins, who made the disturbing discovery while emptying the clothing donations bins at a local church.
Showing you what has been marked State 17, Ms. Watkins, do you generally recognize what this photograph is?
Yes.
And what do you recognize this to be?
The bins at St. Michael's.
And does this appear to be the containers as they existed in December of 2019?
Yes.
So now with regard to these two containers, when you arrived with Wilfredo at this location, tell us about the activities that you would have engaged in. Tell me about the activities that you did engage with Wilfredo on December the 4th of 2019.
We would have gotten there and I would have unlocked the bins and opened the first one, which was on the left.
So looking at the exhibit that's still on the screen, there are two containers. There's one on the left, one on the right. You worked in the left one first?
Yes.
And tell us what happened next.
Fredo would start, I would stand in the back of the truck and Fredo would start emptying the bin.
So now let's describe the truck. Can you tell us a little bit about the size of the truck?
I think it's a 20-ish foot box truck.
Okay. And is it low to the ground, high to the ground? How does it sit on the ground?
It's kind of high, the back of the truck, and there's like a step to get up there.
Okay. So now where were you on December the 4th of 2019?
I would stand in the back of the truck.
Okay. So you were up high?
Yes.
And where was Wilfredo?
On the ground, starting to do the bin.
Okay. And what observations did you make with regard to the containers?
That they were decently, like, pretty full.
Okay. And did there come a point in time where Wilfredo started to unload the containers?
Yes.
And what observations did you make?
That he would start throwing the bagged clothes to me.
And when he started to throw the bag clothes to you, what would you do with them?
I would throw them further back into the truck.
Okay. And did there come a point in time where he threw anything out to you that you took notice of?
Yes.
And what was that?
We first saw a Diaper Genie.
Okay. And what did you notice about it?
That it was covered in a red substance.
And what did you think that red substance was?
Blood.
Okay. And when you saw this, what did you do?
I took a picture and sent it to my boss.
Okay. And why did you do that?
Just to know how to proceed and what we should do.
Where my finger is pointing, bottom left-hand side of the picture, Your Honor, it's some type of a metallic part of the picture. What is that?
That's the back of the truck that I would step on to get into the box part.
So does it appear that you took this photograph, you were standing up in the truck?
Yes.
And with regard to this photograph, what did you say that you did with this photograph?
I sent it to my boss.
And what was her name?
Marianne.
What was that person's name?
Marianne Tettelbach.
And why did you send it to her?
To know how to proceed.
And not what Ms. Titleback told you, but based upon what she told you, what, if anything, did you do with this item?
To continue, but just to bag all the stuff with blood on it separately.
And did other things come out of the bin with red stuff on it?
Yes.
And were you able to separate it out into separate bags containing items only with the red stuff on it?
Yes.
Did there come a point in time that something other than red stuff came out on any of the items?
Yes.
You processed all of the red stuff that you found at this location. What, if anything, did you do after that?
Just continued on our day.
Did you have other stops to make?
Yes.
And did you make all of your other stops?
Yes.
And did there come a point in time where you completed all of your stops?
Yes.
And when you completed your stops, what did you do at the end of your run?
I dropped Fredo off near his house, and then I continued to the warehouse.
And when you got to the warehouse, what, if anything, did you do?
I locked the back of the truck and then handed my keys in.
And did you leave Kiducation then for the day?
Yes.
And that was Wednesday, December the 4th?
Yes.
Do you recall reporting to work the next day?
Yes.
And was that December the 5th?
Yes.
And at that point in time, had you had an opportunity to speak with your boss, Marianne Titleback?
Yes.
And were you present when the truck that you had loaded the previous day was subsequently then unloaded?
Yes.
And do you know, when you loaded the materials that you bagged, step back, withdrawn, the red stuff material, when you put it into your truck, how was it packaged?
In a big clear plastic bag.
And was it one bag, more than one bag?
A few bags.
Okay. And then the red stuff with some other material in it that you put in the Ziploc bag, was that in a separate bag, or did you throw it into just with the other?
With the other stuff.
Okay. And then once you had those bags in your truck, where did you place them in your truck?
In the truck, we have separate bins for stuff that's not closed, so I put it in there.
Okay. And now back on December the 5th, do you know where those bins removed from the truck?
Yes.
And do you know where they were placed?
They were taken out of the truck and put in the middle of the warehouse.
Okay. And did you see them at that location?
Yes.
And were they the same items that you had collected and bagged the day before?
Yes.
And it wasn't just only, bloody baby items, baby-related items that were found in this donation bin. It was also a letter, an address belonging to the victim. They called police. They were there within 5 minutes. Let's bring in our guest to discuss, criminal defense attorney Joseph Tolle. This shows you right here, everyday citizens can be heroes in investigations.
It certainly does, yes. And another thing I noticed is that witness was getting very emotional, and she was holding it back, but it does have power with the jury. The jury can feel her emotion and can sympathize and empathize with where she's coming from, and I think this is a very good witness for the prosecution.
Yeah, because it really shows the line of events that happened that day where Morales allegedly went to try to cover his tracks.
And that is the key point. We were just talking last segment about voluntary intoxication and how it could impact the defense. And so normally speaking, voluntary intoxication where you take drugs or drink yourself does not constitute a defense. It can for specific intent crimes. Murder does have a specific intent, so it can be a defense. But in Connecticut, it's heavily scrutinized. And it needs to be, the intoxication needs to be so intense that there's just no way that you could form an intent. And here, why I call this a key piece of evidence, is because this shows cleanup afterward. Well, if somebody's so out of their mind on drugs, and here he's saying PCP, that might be possible that he was so intoxicated from PCP that he didn't know what he was doing. But then why is he cleaning it up afterward? That shows that there was some thinking going on, which negates his defense.
Bingo. You said it right there. Joseph Tully, thank you so much. We do have to take a break. Coming up, more testimony in the case against Jose Morales out of Connecticut. Plus, in the great state of California, the Menendez brothers are in court today for a very pivotal hearing. Will their resentencing hearing happen next week? Will it not? Today, the judge could decide. We'll be right back. This is Court TV Live. This is Court TV Live. I'm Matt Johnson. Thanks for being with us. In the great state of California, a big hearing is underway for Eric and Lyle Menendez, where a judge will decide if the new district attorney can block a resentencing hearing. The brothers were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after killing their parents back in 1989. A judge will decide if the new LA County District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, can withdraw the initial recommendation by his predecessor that the brothers should be resentenced. Currently, that resentencing hearing is scheduled for next week, April 17th and 18th, which could mean that the brothers are set free under updated California sentencing laws. No cameras are allowed in for today's hearing, but we'll keep you updated on air and online. Meanwhile, here's a look back at the case. It's been 30 years since Lyle and Eric Menendez were first tried for the murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez.
I ran around and shot my mom.
Where did you shoot her?
The street door, and I shot her close.
I was just firing. As I went into the room, I just started firing.
Prosecutors claim the brothers killed in cold blood for money, but Eric and Lyle claim that they acted in self-defense after suffering years of sexual abuse.
What do you believe was the originating cause of you and your brother ultimately winding up shooting your parents?
Me telling Lyle that,
It was you telling Lyle what?
my dad had been molesting me.
The 1993 trial ended in a mistrial with the jurors deadlocked. 2 years later, the brothers were found guilty and sentenced to life without parole. Now the case is back in the spotlight, thanks to the Netflix series, The Menendez Brothers.
Everyone asks why we kill our parents. Maybe now people can understand the truth.
The documentary details the brothers' claims of sexual assault. Lyle Menendez also spoke on the Rosie O'Donnell podcast, saying he was not aware of the accusations against their father from a member of the band Menudo.
I did not know Roy and didn't know the fact that he had been raped by my father and was another victim. Came out through a documentary investigation they were doing on the band separately from anything related to Eric and I.
Due to the refocused attention on the case, the Menendez brothers have a chance at freedom after former Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon recommended they be resentenced.
We are asking the court to withdraw the previous district attorney's motion for resentencing.
Since then, current DA Nathan Hochman announced his office is against a new trial or resentencing.
If they go ahead and finally come clean with the court, with the public, with the DA's office, with their own family members, and acknowledge all these lies, we too, in the district attorney's office, will reconsider whether or not we would want to go forward with a resentencing motion.
While the courts consider paths of resentencing and a new trial for the Menendez brothers, Governor Gavin Newsom considers clemency.
It doesn't impact the process that's underway, that review for clemency in my office, or the independent risk assessment that will be concluded on June 13th by the Board of Parole Hearings.
We are incredibly grateful that Governor Newsom is paying attention to this case. For our family, it is a huge sigh of relief.
And when I've spoken to family members, they said that they intend to be at all of the hearings. They are hoping that this judge will allow that resentencing hearing to still move forward next week. Again, there's no cameras there in this Van Nuys courtroom for this hearing today, but we will keep you posted. Let's turn now to Connecticut, where it's day 5 of testimony underway in the missing mother, murdered daughter trial for Jose Morales. He's accused of killing his girlfriend, Christine Holloway, back in 2019. Police say that Morales beat Christine to death. He's charged with her murder, but has not yet been charged with the disappearance of their 1-year-old baby, Vanessa. Let's get you back into court now. On direct is Mary Ann Tettelbach, a manager of the clothing donation bin company.
On December 4th of 2019, do you recall being contacted by Mira Watkins?
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, was she out doing her collections job that day?
Yes.
And did she make you aware of something with regard to one of the stops?
Yes.
And not what she told you, but as a result of what she told you, did she send you anything?
Yes.
And what did she send you?
A picture with like a white diaper pail and some matter on it or substance.
Can you describe the color or the matter that you saw on it?
It was red.
Okay. Do you recall what it is that you instructed Mira to do regarding this item and any other items that may have had a similar substance on it?
I told her to bag it up and to bring it back to the warehouse.
Do you recall when it was unloaded?
The next morning.
Okay. So we're now talking about December the 5th. That would be a Thursday?
Yes.
All right. And when the truck was unloaded, did you participate in the process at all?
Yes.
And what specifically did you do?
I pushed the rolling hoppers out of the truck.
Okay. And why did you push the rolling hoppers out of the truck?
I wanted to make sure there wasn't a problem.
Okay.
So I did it.
So, and had you been made aware that the items that were the subject of the pictures or picture that you were sent were contained within the rolling hoppers?
Yes.
Can you tell me, do you generally recognize what this is?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
The bins that I pushed out.
Okay. So does it, first of all, do you recognize the structure that's depicted in the photographs? The building.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, our building that we work in, yeah.
And these bins, did you roll some or all of these bins off the truck?
All.
Okay. And did you leave them where they're depicted in the photograph?
Yes.
And at some point in time, did you now take a closer look at some of the contents of the bins?
Yes.
Showing you states 21 is a full exhibit. And if you have any problems seeing, please, I will get that monitor turned on for you.
I can see.
You can see it? All right. Do you generally recognize what this is?
Yes.
And what do you recognize it to be?
The stuff that I took off the truck and the letter that was on top of the stuff.
Okay. So center in this photograph, there appears to be some type of a letter. Is this what you are, piece of mail, what you're referring to?
Yes.
And were you able to take a closer look at that item?
Yes.
Does this, what do you recognize this to be?
That's the letter.
And as you looked at it, did it appear, as it looks right now?
Yes.
And is a name visible through the letter?
Yes.
And with regard to this letter, when you saw it, did you also happen to notice other items that were in this bin?
Yes.
And were you able to make any observations with regard to, let's say, the bottom right-hand corner of this photograph?
Yes.
Were you able to make other observations?
There was more substance.
What color substance?
Red.
Okay. And when you saw, and were there, beyond what I'm showing you in this photograph, were you able to see through the plastic bags to other items that contained a red type substance?
Yes.
Based upon all of this information that you were now receiving on Thursday, December the 5th of 2019, what steps, if any, did you take at that point?
I Googled the name.
Okay. And why did you
It seemed odd.
Okay. So you Googled what name?
Christine Holloway.
Okay. And when you Googled the name Christine Holloway on now Thursday, December the 5th, what did you find?
I found there was an investigation going on.
Okay. And how was this through a news source or something along?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And did the whatever you read, did it identify an agency that was involved in the investigation?
Yeah, Ansonia.
Okay. And what did you do based on that information?
I called the police in Ansonia.
So you called the Ansonia Police Department?
Yep.
And did you? What did you tell them?
I told them that I had a letter on top of some stuff that we had collected at a clothing bin, and it had matter on it, and I was very concerned.
And were you given instructions by the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes.
All right. And based on those instructions, what, if anything, did you do?
I didn't touch anything, and I didn't let anyone else touch anything.
And did there come a point in time after that phone call that anyone arrived at Kitchication?
The Hamden Police.
Do you recall approximately how long after your phone call Hamden Police arrived?
I want to say within 5 minutes. It was quick.
Back on States 20. There is what appears to be crime scene tape in this photograph. Do you know who placed that there?
The Hamden Police.
And did there come a point in time after Hamden Police arrived that additional police officers arrived?
Yes.
And were you aware of what agency they were affiliated?
Ansonia.
And at some point in time, did you and the people within your company provide statements to the Ansonia Police Department?
Yes, we did.
I have nothing further.
So Tettelback calls police when this discovery is made 3 days after the murder. Let's bring in our guest, criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully, watching along with you at home. All right, she was a really good witness and really establishes a lot of this key evidence. How would you approach her if you were the defense attorney on this case?
I would get facts from her. She can lead to an emotional witness. We're talking about bloody items from a very brutal murder. So I would get in, I would get out, I would get in, I would get the facts that are helpful to the defense here. So what the defense, the only course of action that they really have here is to separate out the cleanup that kind of shows consciousness of guilt and put it as far out in terms of a timeline from the actual murder as possible. That way they can still argue, look, there was this voluntary intoxication, but it does negate specific intent to murder. However, there was cleanup, but that happened after he sobered up, and that's the only course of action here that they have to establish a defense.
I think you're right, and we're going to find out together. We're going to hit a break right now. Coming up, the cross-examination of this witness, more testimony in the missing daughter, murdered mother trial playing out in Connecticut. We'll be right back.
Confessing to a murder on camera.
We're here to try and understand the mindsets behind your actions in this case. It sounds like you lost control of yourself.
Not at all. No, not at all. I'm done with this interview.
That's so conniving. Do you understand that?
Well, I'm your worst nightmare, David.
Interview with a Killer, a special 2-hour season premiere. Sunday, 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on Court TV.
Court TV's original true crime series called Interview with a Killer returns this Sunday, folks, with the first ever TV interview with Gary Michael Hilton. He's dubbed the National Forest serial killer. He's currently serving on death row and sat down with our David Scott. Watch this.
Here you are
on death row.
Yes.
Talking for the first time publicly about your crimes.
That's right.
We're here today, sir, to try and understand the mindset and motivations behind your actions in these cases. You're 78 years old now, right?
Yes.
In poor health, you say?
Yes, very poor health. That's one reason I'm doing this, because I'm going to die soon. I have a congestive heart failure.
Tell me in your own words, why are you breaking your silence?
Well, you hit it right on the head. And I also, an answer is, I don't know. All I can say is, it's time. After 17 years, after ignoring innumerable requests from every kind of person in the world, it's time. That's the way I feel. It's time, after 17 years, to break my silence.
In our correspondence, you said, I think I'm prepared to give you an interview that's a lollapalooza. It'll knock your socks off.
Yes.
I will answer any question.
Yes.
About any subject, truthfully and completely.
Yes.
Can I count on you for that?
You sure can.
You said, be prepared to meet a whole different breed of cat. What breed exactly?
Well, I'm just like no one else, really, you know.
Serial killer?
They're a dime a dozen.
Psychopath?
No.
Sociopath?
I have part of that in me.
Again, Sunday, 8 p.m., brand new series, a 2-hour special event. You don't want to miss it. Let's head back to Connecticut together, where Jose Morales is on trial for the murder of his girlfriend. Christine Holloway was found beat to death in her bathtub back in 2019 after officers were called to her house for a welfare check. The couple's 1-year-old daughter, Vanessa, has never been found. On cross right now is Mary Ann Tettelback, the manager of the donation bin company where some bloody evidence was found.
I want to just talk to you about the specific items that you just saw in the bins that you testified you had taken off of Mira Watkins' truck.
Okay.
Okay. Were you there the day before on the 4th when Mira Watkins returned to Kid Education's warehouse?
Nope.
You weren't there?
Nope.
Okay, gotcha. So is the practice that the trucks go out in the morning and they have a run sheet, is that correct?
Yes.
And it identifies for the driver and the helper every place that they're supposed to stop and collect material?
Yes.
Okay. And who directs the drivers to go out? Is there a dispatcher?
Me. I do dispatch, yeah.
Okay. Sounds like you do a lot of different jobs. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the day before, Mira Watkins went ahead with a helper by the name of Wilfredo Fuentes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and they went out on typical go on their run. And this was all in the Derby and Ansonia and Shelton areas.
Yes.
Correct? All right, gotcha. And when Mira Watkins returned with the truck, you're telling us you were not present?
Yes.
Okay. And is it the practice that the truck would be unloaded on the day that it returns?
Nope.
No, it's not till the following day at about 7 in the morning,
Yes.
correct? Okay. And do you happen to know whether or not Mira Watkins' truck, after she returned, had again left the yard to go to the gas station?
The trucks are locked every night. So when they come back, they lock them. And then, yes, it is gone to the gas station in the morning.
Okay. So the truck actually, before it is unloaded, it leaves the facility and it goes out and gets gassed up for the next day's route.
Yes.
And that happened in this case.
Yes.
I want to take your attention to the 5th, if you wouldn't mind. Okay. So you went to work. You went to work that day?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And do you recall that you had Googled the name of Christine Holloway, right? That's what
Yes.
you told us. And you contacted the Ansonia Police Department.
Yes.
And then what wound up happening was Ansonia said, we'll come out. Is that correct?
I think so. I don't remember.
Okay, that's fair. But we can agree that two detectives, Detective Esposito and Detective Tresser, came
yes,
interviewed you, right?
Yep.
And you were cooperative with them?
Yeah.
Sure, of course. And but before they got there, the Hamden police, you told us, arrived.
Yes.
Okay, and did you call the Hamden police?
I don't think so.
No, but regardless of who called them, Hamden came.
Yes.
Right, and they had the crime scene tape that's was shown in the photos, right? And you told us that you had rolled the 4 bins out into the center of the warehouse. Yes. And that was secured by the crime scene tape.
Yes.
And did you talk to the officers from the Hamden Police Department?
No, I don't remember. If it was like, hi, this is the stuff. You know, it was no conversation.
Okay. Because Hamden wasn't doing the investigation, it was Ansonia.
I don't know that process at all. I just try to mind my business.
Okay, all right. But Hamden didn't interview you. It was later when the detectives came.
I think so.
Yeah. It seems like the detectives probably came at around 9 o'clock and 10:30. Is that consistent with your recollection? It was in the morning?
About.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I have no other questions. Thanks for your time.
Ms. Tadabak, all those names that Attorney Gavin asked you of every step of your process, looking past all that for a moment and only focusing on December the 5th of 2019. That is Thursday morning, right? Well, actually, let me back up. When the truck comes in at the end of the run, is it secured?
Yes.
Is the driver's compartment secured?
No, not the driver, but the back of the truck.
Okay. How is it secured?
It's locked, and it's not unlocked until we open the door and take the stuff out.
Okay. So when the truck came back on Thursday morning, when the truck was going to be unloaded, were you there when the lock was removed?
Yes.
Okay. And who removed the lock?
It was either me or Charles Haddad.
Okay.
Or together, you know.
Okay. And is this, just describe it, is it a door, is it like a roll-up door? Or does it swing open?
It rolls up.
Okay. And when the door has been rolled up, what are you seeing at that point?
We see the bins that would have like trash, and then bags of clothes would be in there.
Okay. Now, in this particular case, the stuff with that Mira had separated out and bagged and put in bins, are those what you're referring to as the trash bins?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where, were the trash bins being utilized effectively to store these bags?
Yes.
Okay. And now, you're there. What's removed from the truck first?
Those bins.
Okay. And who removed those bins?
Me.
Okay. And you placed them where we otherwise had them in the photograph?
Yes.
All right. Did anybody else at that point touch those bins other than you?
Nope.
All right. So all the other names, everyone who works for Kiducation, all the other drivers, everything, all those other names, no one else touched those bins, only you.
Yep.
I have nothing further.
That's going to do it for that witness. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully in California. So at first, Joseph, I was like, why did this case even go to trial, right? Because there's also DNA evidence and stuff. And then I was thinking maybe there was no deal. You know why? Because if he's convicted, maybe we can find out where baby Vanessa is.
Sure, yes. And, you know, a lot of times, very serious cases, there's just no deal. You know, the DA says that, look, you either did it or you didn't. We have the evidence here to prove the case. You don't get offered a deal. So therefore, you just start preparing for trial. And it's usually very, very heavy, serious cases. That's a lot of times the occurrence.
And, you know, I have about 10 seconds here. Do you think that he's going to testify?
I think that that's their only shot, is to put him up there, to humanize him, and have him explain in very honest
Joseph
detail
Tully, that's all our
that he
time.
didn't mean to do it.
Thank you so much.